The Boston Bruins will undoubtedly be a strong hockey team in the 2024-25 season. That much is certain. However, whether they are legitimate Stanley Cup contenders depends on how well a roster featuring up to half a dozen new faces comes together, starting Wednesday when players gather at the Warrior Ice Arena for their physicals. One striking aspect of the new additions is their size. There's 6 feet 6 inches Nikita Zadorov, 6 feet 4 inches Mark Kastelic, 6 feet 3 inches Max Jones, and 6 feet 6 inches Riley Tuft, all of whom will join a team that already had a decent amount of size to begin with. As we head into another hockey season, here are 5 questions the Bruins are facing. Let's begin with the most pressing. 1. Will Jeremy Swayman's absence be prolonged? This is a situation that many assumed would have been resolved by now. Since the team believes that 25-year-old Swayman is their goalie of both the present and future, and by all accounts, the goaltender wants to remain a Bruin, one would think a deal will eventually get done. But at what cost, both financially and to the overall team spirit, will this come? If Swayman misses a few days of camp, it will likely be forgotten within a week. But if the impasse bleeds into the season, it could have a detrimental effect on the Bruins' long-term goals and disrupt their famously strong locker room. It's believed Swayman is seeking a long-term deal, possibly up to 8 years, with an average annual value close to Charlie McAvoy's, $9.5 million per season. With the Bruins only having around $8.6 million in cap space, this presents a problem. Perhaps they could find common ground on a bridge deal that would keep the AAV low in the short term but allow Swayman to become an unrestricted free agent in his late 20s, when he would be in a better position to dictate his terms while still in his prime. The two sides have until December 1st to reach an agreement, or Swayman will have to sit out the season. If it drags out that long, hard feelings on both sides are likely. 2. Is there a second-line right winger in-house? Fabian Lysell, step up. The time should be now for the Bruins' 2021 first-round pick, 21st overall. The Bruins addressed several pressing needs this offseason, but there was only so much money to go around. They are still short a top-6 winger, and the spot to the right of Charlie Coyle is begging for Lysell to claim it. If the 21-year-old Swede can prove he's ready to be an impactful NHL player, it would also help the Bruins' financial situation, as Lysell has 2 years remaining on his cheap contract, $863,334. After a lackluster camp and a slow start last season, Lysell turned a corner in Providence and was trending toward a call-up before he got hurt. If Lysell can't seize the opportunity, there are other options. Trent Frederic has been slotted up the lineup at times. While many project Justin Brazeau as a fourth liner, he often found himself on the ice in critical moments during last year's playoffs. There's also the versatile veteran Tyler Johnson, who can play both center and wing. 3. When will Brad Marchand's age start to show? The 36-year-old captain recently raised eyebrows by announcing he underwent 3 surgeries over the summer, 1 on his elbow and 2 core surgeries. Last season, he hit a wall in the second half. From February 8 to March 7, he scored just 1 goal. Marchand said he was playing through those injuries, which may explain that dip in performance. But these surgeries come just 2 years after he underwent extensive procedures on both hips. When will the wear and tear catch up to him? In terms of competitiveness, Marchand is second to none. He expects to be ready for camp, if not for the first on-ice session on Thursday, shortly after. And despite the surgeries, he takes great pride in his conditioning level. Marchand is also due for an extension after this season, and while no one expects him to be the 2016 version of himself, he's someone the Bruins should take care of, especially considering he's been on a team-friendly deal since 2016, $6.125 million per season. But while the Bruins are expected to excel defensively, they can't afford much of a drop in scoring output. 4. Can Matt Poitras solidify his hold on the third-line center spot? Poitras was last season's shiny new toy. He made the roster at 19 for several reasons. He had an excellent camp, the Bruins desperately needed another center at the start of the season, and sending him back to juniors wouldn't have done much for his development. What happened is what you fear when putting a teenager in the lineup: he got hurt. Poitras's season was cut short after 33 games, and he underwent shoulder surgery. This year, he's eligible to be sent to the AHL to get some seasoning. Chances are, after a year of physical growth and an off-season of training at the team's Brighton facility, Poitras could be ready to claim his spot. But he's not at the stage in his career where a roster spot is guaranteed. If he has a mediocre camp, the Bruins have other options, including Johnson, Georgii Merkulov, or Morgan Geekie. Spending time in Providence, where he could run the power play, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. 5. What can we expect from Elias Lindholm? We all know Lindholm is a solid two-way center who should fit well into the Bruins' ethos. The club had been eyeing him for 2 years before finally landing him in free agency in July on a 7-year contract with an annual cap hit of $7.75 million, making him the Bruins' second highest paid forward after David Pastrnak. But how much will he contribute offensively? 3 seasons ago, Lindholm had a career year, posting 42-40-82 totals while centering Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau, both of whom eclipsed the 100-point mark. After those two left Calgary, Lindholm experienced a drop-off, though he still managed a 22-42-64 season. Not bad. But in his contract year last season, Lindholm, who turns 30 in December, had a down year. His offensive numbers dipped to 15-29-44 between Calgary and Vancouver. Some of that can certainly be attributed to the uncertainty of entering the final year of his deal and being traded mid-season, but some of it has to fall on the player himself. On the bright side, he had a solid playoff run for the Canucks, with May 5, 10-13 games. The Bruins will need him to carry his share of the offensive load and expect him to be put in a prime position once again, likely between Pastrnak and Pavel Zacha. If he can return to his 2021-22 production levels, the Bruins could be a real cup contender. Subscribe now. Don't miss out on all the exciting Bruins content. Subscribe to our channel and stay up to date with the latest news, insights, and analysis from your favorite team. Let's go Bruins! Dear fan, we need your support to make our channel grow. Your subscription and like are crucial for YouTube to promote our content to more people and for you to always be notified of our new videos. Unfortunately, many followers don't subscribe to or like our videos, which is disheartening for us as we put so much effort into creating quality content for free. But we know that you are not part of that group that does not support us. Therefore, we sincerely ask that you help us by subscribing and liking our videos. If you haven't already, please consider taking this small step that means a lot to us. Our goal is to provide relevant content and keep you up to date on everything Boston Bruins related. If you can take a moment to support us in this way, we would be immensely grateful. Remember, every action you take helps us grow and reach more people, allowing us to continue celebrating and sharing our passion for the Boston Bruins with all of our fans. We thank you in advance for your understanding and continued support. Together we are stronger. With gratitude, Skamaris and team.